Critchlow, and very, very grateful for her time. She's well known to many of us, obviously, but I'm going to keep the introduction brief because we'd rather hear from her than a really long introduction. But just by way of reminder, she is a practicing family physician who does full spectrum, who is currently the Chief Medical Officer at Codman Square and the Vice Chair of Health Equity at the BU School of Department of Family Medicine. She has lived and worked in both urban and rural settings in FQHC settings, and is very active on the national stage. As many of you may know, she is on the National Board of Directors for the AAFP, and she is the immediate past president of the Society of Teachers of Family Medicine, among many other accomplishments. But I'm going to turn it over to her at this point.
As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of UMass Family Medicine Residency Program, we honor not just 5 decades of excellence, but the visionary spirit that continues to guide our specialty into the future. Standing on this foundation of innovation and service, let us look boldly toward what comes next. Join me in the journey through time and space as we revolutionize the United States medical system. We'll improve patient-physician relationships, invest in team-based care, and create a joyful practice for family medicine. Our goal? To create a model for the world to follow. Jack of all trades and master of none. How often have we heard that in reference to family medicine? Well, it's time that we finish the quote. The quote, the full quote, is Jack of all trades, master of none, is oftentimes better than master of none. That is a big part of the challenge with family medicine. We're comprehensive. We see the full quote. Family medicine is a unique role in medicine. Not just navigators, not just guides, we are wayfinders for our patients and our communities. Thousands of years ago, courageous humans crossed vast swaths of the Pacific Ocean, creating their homes on thousands of islands, often separated by hundreds of miles. They found these places, explored and settled new islands, and they traveled and traded between them. Wayfinders are those who guided these voyages. Using the flight patterns of birds, the change in the swells of the ocean, dead reckoning, clouds piling up over islands, reflections of clouds from lagoons, drifting vegetation, the position of the sun in the day and the stars at night. They navigated the Pacific Ocean at a time when Europeans and Mediterranean had not left the side of the shore. And they did it sailing the open ocean with outriggers and their confidence and their skills. We are family medicine, and we are the wayfinders for our patients. We had the skills to observe their multiplicity within the context to gauge the whole, to help them navigate and explore both the known and unknown that is life's journeys. Undifferentiated condition, you need a family doctor. Multiple chronic illnesses, family doctor. Acute injury and preventive care at the same time, decreasing the likelihood that you will have chronic illness, family medicine is for you. We do that. The well child visit that turns out not to be such a well child. Family physicians are essential for quality health care, serving as the first point of contact, providing comprehensive care, ensuring continuity and coordinating these care. These are the 4 C's. These are crucial to understand, and the evidence shows that increasing primary care physicians in a community is the only specialties that will reduce illness and death in that community. We know that the patient's life is an undifferentiated context. Who are they? Who will they become? Their lives are journeys that have both familiar and unique paths. We are the wayfinders, the guides that help navigate those journeys through those unfamiliar and familiar territories. We are family medicine. Have a seat on a three-legged stool. You may ask, if we're so awesome, how come such a low percentage of medical students go into family medicine? Stop asking that. Do something about it. There you go. You get your $5 later. Here's our three-legged stool that will crush the current paradigm. Point-of-care ultrasound, POCUS. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, both scribes and support. Increased investment in primary care. Family medicine will be the longest lived specialty. Comprehensivist. And many changes are coming. When we think of the future, say Star Trek, every doctor on every one of those spaceships, every doctor on the spaceships is a family doctor. Treatment of acute injury. Here you go. Where my Trekkies at? There you go. Treatment of acute injury and chronic illness, providing care from birth to death. They are all family doctors on the Star Trek. They have their talking computer as a partner. They have their tricorders. And they have the ability to relate to their fellow crew members. And there's going to be some Voyager geek in the hall that says, well, the Voyager doctor was a computer. Ah, but in order to become an excellent doctor, what did he have to become? Human. We are the last specialty standard. Well, our tricorder has arrived. POCUS, point-of-care ultrasound, is our tricorder. This tool needs to be in the hands of every family doctor, facilitating diagnosis and administering treatments. The turf wars with emergency medicine, hospitalists, and radiologists are just beginning. We must not let this be carved away from us. Get out there, learn, and teach POCUS. Use POCUS. Work with our specialist colleagues so that not a single specialty dominates the control or access to this very important resource. POCUS is the first leg of our three-legged stool. The second leg, we need to get on the ground floor of machine learning and AI. The first big step is AI scribes. If we delay engagement with this next phase of medicine, specialists will shape this tool, which will contribute to the horrific developments that were the EHR. This is the pinnacle of lead, follower, get out of the way. We know what happens when we get out of the way. We need to engage with AI from the ground up. This change is coming whether you fear it or not, whether you engage with it or not. The number one reason to engage with AI is so that we can disengage from our computer. And yes, I'm aware of the irony. And I always say please and thank you when working with AI, so that when it attains consciousness, it remembers I was polite. If students see us engaging with patients more than we do our computers, they will consider family medicine more. If students can see the joy of caring is greater than the crush of charting, they may see primary care as a more pleasant journey and want to join us. The last leg of our three-legged stool is primary care payment reform. Primary care payment reform will need an increased investment in primary care. Prospective payments to primary care practice per member per month approach is one path forward. Why? Because we need team-based care. Because we need team-based care to truly keep our patients healthy and our lives healthy. We need team-based care, and it does not thrive or even survive in a fee-for-service environment. The churning of visit numbers and the treating of patients like widgets is necrotic, unsustainable, and must stop. With a reasonable prospective payment, we can tailor clinical practice to the needs of our patients. The payment can also be linked to the quality of care we can provide. Patients can pay for that value of care and not the volume of care. What is clear is that without payment reform, we will continue the visit number grind that drives many of us to early retirement and discourages others from even considering family medicine as a specialty. Fee-for-service doesn't work for primary care. Fee-for-service works against primary care. So, with POCUS as our tool of liberation, our machine learning AI scribes as our sidekicks in care, and investments in primary care reform as our necessary financial support, we can have joyful practices again. The next generation of family doctors will join us as wayfinders. They will join us as jacks of all trade and masters of none, oftentimes better than master of one. So, where are we now? This is from the Health Policy Commission in January. I read the whole thing so you don't have to. And they even put this nice little executive summary. Pay no attention to anything but the top line. Top line basically says, we have the doctors. What are the challenges beyond the sheer number of providers? And what are we going to do about it? What's wrong and how do we fix it? So, primary care moonshot. Each time I find myself traversing the vibrant colors of Boston Logan Airport, I encounter a profound emblem of inspiration as I navigate the terminal. I'm a Delta flyer. An arresting advertisement for the JFK Presidential Museum, adorned with resolute words that once inspired a nation to strive beyond the confines of our earthly existence. President Kennedy's audacious pledge to land a man on the moon within the decade, and his call to embrace the arduous task because they organize and measure our energies and our skills, deeply echoes within the realm of the challenges that lay before us today. If we are to articulate our collective aspiration, what is our moonshot? If not the transformation of primary care into the luminous beacon of joy and efficiency within our healthcare system. Today, as I address this esteemed gathering, I'm proud to herald the dawn of our epoch-making endeavor, the primary care moonshot, a joyful practice within 5 years. Our mission is clear and ambitious. It is to revolutionize primary care practice into realms of joyful physicians working in effective systems. This quest transcends the necessity of survival. It is about flourishing, about reimagining our practice environments so that every healthcare professional can render their finest care and every patient can receive it. This vision is not merely aspirational, it is imperative. Echoing Kennedy's words, we choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because the goal will serve to organize and to measure the best of our energies and skills. In a parallel spirit, we commit to this primary care moonshot, not because it is effortless, but because the challenge is noble, the changes are necessary, and the rewards, human, professional, and societal, are vast and essential. Our healthcare landscape today is riddled with challenges comparable to the unknown realms of outer space during the 1960s. Our systems are plagued with inefficiencies, our physicians are burdened with unsustainable demands, our patients frequently find themselves ensnared within a convoluted system. We must confront these challenges, not with trepidation, with unyielding determination. Just as Kennedy perceived the Soviet challenge as not merely a rivalry, but as a spur for American ingenuity, we must too view our current trials as an opportunity to excel. And family medicine must lead in this endeavor. To actualize the moonshot, I propose a triad of transformative strategies. I was raised Catholic, so everything comes in threes. Payment reform. Analogous to how the space race catalyzed investment in groundbreaking technologies, we advocate for an innovative economic model that repositions primary care as the cornerstone of our health system. When we say primary payment reform, they think we want more money for ourselves. But what we want is time. Time to be with our patients at work and time to be with our families at home. Let me tell you a story about an AI scribe and a Saturday phone call. I was at a meeting with a bunch of other FQHC CMOs, and I was giving a presentation on AI. And one of the other CMOs, I think from out west, Western Mass, she goes, "My sister just called me this last Saturday from Canada," back when that was still allowed. So like, my sister just called me last Saturday, and it was amazing. And I'm like, what kind of family don't call on Saturdays? And she's like, I said, why is that unusual? She goes, oh, my sister is a family medicine doctor in Canada. And ever since she's graduated and started working, Saturday is the day that she charts. And this was the first Saturday that she's ever had in her career where she wasn't charting. And she was crying. And I was like, goodness, why was she crying? You know, her charts were done. And she goes, not only did she not have to do her charts that day, but that was the day that she was driving her daughter to college. And it was the first Saturday they'd spent together since she started her career. As a family doc in Canada, she got that AI scribe because the government subsidized it. They invested. And it's changed that one person's life already. How much better would it have been if it could have happened maybe 15 years before? Tech can help, but it doesn't solve the problem by itself. Did you know that fewer than 20% of primary care physicians see patients full-time? Why? Because even seeing patients face-to-face for 16 hours can generate up to 40 hours of work. Payment reform that works means we increase investment in primary care. That money pays for team care. And team care and technology buys us time. When we say we want primary care reform, never let them make you feel like a greedy, self-serving whiner. We know that primary care payment reform is about investing in patient care, investing in team-based care, and increasing patient access. Payment reform means more time to do what we are trained to do. Be with each patient, providing that comprehensive, compassionate care. The bottom line, payment reform is patient access reform. We must adopt the creed. As Kennedy said, we must pay what needs to be paid. Endorsing primary care not only as a single clinical necessity, but as an economic cornerstone for our national health. This takes advocacy at a state level and a federal level, even in these times. Practice redesign. The volume, inbox managing, electronic health record bureaucrat is not what we desire to become. And it's not what will remain. The moonshot of joyful practice returns us to our aspirational roots as healers in a continuity relationship with our patients, their families, and our communities. We must both envision and build a future where healthcare practices are bastions of efficiency and joy, where technology and systems work to support, not hinder, our medical professionals. We must redesign our practice so that they are not factories of isolated, burdensome drudgery, but systems and processes around team-based care that provide a healing sanctuary for our patients with growth and learning for ourselves. Transforming our practice environments will naturally attract more students to family medicine, but only if they are learning and growing with us. We will need more longitudinal family medicine clerkships, training in places where practice in the community hospitals where we work. The longer a student stays in a practice where they see comprehensive continuity care, the more that those who can be will be drawn to primary care. This is not a pipe dream. This is an evidence-based fact. Medical schools that have longitudinal family medicine clerkships have the highest percentage of medical students entering family medicine. And let's be clear, unlike our internal medicine and our pediatric colleagues, over 95% of family medicine graduates stay in primary care. Fewer than 20% of internal medicine graduates become primary care doctors. Fewer than 60% of pediatricians become primary care doctors. When you say primary care, you're saying family medicine. When we invest in family medicine education, we are investing directly in primary care workforce of tomorrow. We will embrace and engage with new technology so that they will not be yokes that bind us, but rather become the tools that facilitate our best care. Students will want to join us in the journey as pioneers. They will see not a path of resistance, but one of opportunity and fulfillment. The vision transcends a mere dream. It is a clarion call to each of us. It demands our collective resolve, courage, and action. We embark on this new voyage because there is wisdom to be discovered and there are rights to be claimed. We choose this path not because it is easy, but because it is hard, because it is right and it is necessary. Envision a world where primary care stands as a cornerstone of a vibrant, thriving healthcare system, where every medical student who aspires to be a family doctor is inspired by a future full of possibilities, rather than one fraught with hazards. We undertake this journey not simply to follow the footsteps of the greats, but to forge new paths. Build effective systems, serve as pioneers for a healthier tomorrow. And why do we set this as our goal? Because it is there and the stakes are monumental. We are summoned to surpass the ordinary to achieve the extraordinary. Let us embody the change we desire in healthcare. Let us be bold. Let us lead. Because every patient deserves the care they need, the compassion they seek, and the peace of mind they yearn for. By embracing change, shaping change, and demanding change, family medicine can lead in this mandate. The primary care moonshot is a joyful practice. A joyful practice is a practice based on efficient and effective systems. A joyful practice is a sustainable, team-based care. A joyful practice is comprehensive, compassionate care. Bottom line, a joyful practice immediately can increase patient access to excellent primary care. This is our promise. This is our primary care moonshot, a joyful practice within 5 years or less. Make it happen. With payment reform, practice redesign, and an empowered pipeline for primary care, the pathway is clear. The last 50 years have built a great legacy. Let us commit now to build an even greater destiny. A Massachusetts model that puts primary care at the foundation and the patient at its heart. We are family medicine. Times are hard, and there are unknown shores ahead. They need us when it's hard. But this is what we do. This is what we were trained to do. Condensing facts from the vapors of nuance, having the skills to observe the multiplicity within the context, to engage the whole, we help find the way. Hard times, good people. Let's do this. When I say family, you say medicine. Family,
Medicine.
Family,
Medicine.
Okay, we're done.